So a lot of you may have heard that Kansas is planning on passing a bill to give people the right to refuse services to homosexuals. All kinds of services. That includes, you know, store services, restaurant services, even government services. They have the right to refuse it. Now, when I first heard about it, I was like, nah, it's not going to stick because it violates the Constitution. But unfortunately, it doesn't. Because they add this little thing where it says, because of religious beliefs, people have the right. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, yeah, I know Christians don't support homosexuality because the Bible says so. So therefore, it doesn't violate the Constitution because it's their freedom of religion and freedom of expression. And that's one of the things I just despise about this Constitution, how people use it as a weapon against each other in this great nation. I mean, what the hell did our forefathers fought for this country? For freedom. Only for people to use this said freedom, this Constitution, against people because there are certain things they don't agree with? Like, come on. There's so many ways I can say that this does violate the Constitution, but sadly it doesn't. It gives them that ammunition to do whatever the hell they want. Because of religious beliefs and because we have freedom of religion and freedom of expression, we have the right to refuse service. We're not hurting you physically. We're not trying to kill you, so we're not breaking any laws. And sadly, it's true. Now, my feelings as a Christian on this whole thing is that I don't think it's right. Yes, constitutional-wise, they're not doing anything wrong, but morally, they are. As a Christian, it's something that in the Bible says, don't judge lest ye be judged, and yet, guess what? You guys are being very judgy. But I guess you want to refuse that because you feel like, well, the Bible says not to support gays, so I'm actually doing God's work. But then you're still judging people, which is not doing God's work. Which kind of leads to the whole thing that I feel that I don't think this is about religion. That people want to refuse services or persecute homosexuals. That I think it's more of a personal matter. They just don't support it. They feel it destroys the very fabric of their own utopia. You know, I think it's more have to do with that. Now, I know people are thinking like, well, you're a Christian, don't you believe that homosexuality is wrong? Honestly, no. I think it more is a recommendation not to do it, just as much as a recommendation not to eat pork, shrimp, lobster, crab, have tattoos on your body, and piercings on your body. I think of it as that, but not as the point of saying that it's God's law, you shouldn't do it. I think it's more of a recommendation because of health reasons, but I'm going to get to that pretty soon on a video. But as a Christian, it's just, it violates what Christians stand for. You think they're doing God's work, you're not really doing God's work by trying to discriminate people because of their sexual orientation. And that's the thing I hate about certain Christians. They think they're on this high horse, the high pinnacle, because they found God. I found God, but I don't think I'm any less of a man, any greater than a man than anyone else. I'm just as much as a man as the next person who don't believe in God. Doesn't make me better, doesn't make me stronger. Maybe it makes my life uplifting for my personal reasons, but to go as far as to say I'm better than you because I'm a Christian, and then to try to destroy or cleanse this world because of homosexuality, which I think is ridiculous. I mean, of all the things in there to try to combat, why does it have to be homosexuality? Why that? If you're really gonna say religious reasons, then why not have those bills to say, well, guess what? We're going to refuse people who have tattoos on the body, we're going to refuse them service. We're going to refuse people with body piercing. We're going to refuse them service. People who love to eat shrimp, we're going to refuse them service. People who love to eat pork, we're going to refuse them service. People who color their freaking hair, we're going to refuse them service. How about to that point? But why does it have to be homosexuality? I just don't get it. I did a video about this where I just don't get it. Why this crusade? And the thing is with this bill, I see a lot of bad things coming out of this. And it's mainly from the people who don't support homosexuality is going to be taking advantage of this bill to say that I'm doing the right thing. I'm not breaking any laws by refusing service. Because I can hear the headlines now if this passes. A person who was homosexual goes to a hospital because he was sick, but who was refused services because he was homosexual. And unfortunately, no one can do anything about it because they're not breaking any constitutional laws because it's part of their religion. I can hear it now. They're trying to buy food for their children. Oh, we can't sell you any food because you're homosexual. And what about people who are down in their luck and they need government services? I can see that going well too. Oh, we can't give you any food stamps. We can't give you any medical assistance too. We can't give you any general assistance or public housing because you're homosexual. I can see a lot of people are going to be so giddy as to say those things to people who are homosexual or those who support it. I don't know if it's going to be those who support it, but that's what I see. That's the future I see. And you know what the other thing I see? That this is going to give a lot of Christians a bad name. Even though, in my opinion, it's a big, huge stereotype to think that all Christians don't support homosexuality. Seeing that I'm a Christian, I support it. But honestly, there are also people who don't believe in religion who don't support homosexuality. So what about those people who own businesses who are atheists or agnostics or don't have any other kind of religious beliefs against it? They have their personal preference. So that actually becomes a constitutional violation. But of course people are going to lie about it and say, well, it's my religion. And they don't really believe in that religion. And it's going to make Christians look bad. It's going to make me look bad. Because people are going to lump me up with people like the Westboro Baptist Church and say, oh, you believe in this crap. You're a bigot. You're a bigot. That's one of my big fears. And my biggest fears is people taking advantage of this and abusing it. Refusing services for medical, refusing services for like food stamps and all whatnot. Have we really come this far to try to cleanse this nation of homosexuality? To being butthurt because it's ruining your perfect utopian world? I think people are forgetting that America is a multicultural country. There's not one freaking race here. And with multicultures come to multiple religious beliefs. Yes, the Pledge of Allegiance says, under God, indivisible. Yes. But this country has gotten to the point where it's not just Europeans that's running the show. We have all kinds of races. It's a freaking multicultural country that includes multi-religious beliefs. And I'm just so sick and tired of people not freaking coexisting. It's sick. It's very sick. We're going to persecute every person out there because they're not with the status quo. And that is being a Christian and being heterosexual. And we're at the point right now where there's a diversity in everything. In my heart, I'm a Christian. In my beliefs, I'm a Christian. And I'm proud to say I'm a Christian. But I'm not proud of other Christians making me look bad because they feel that should be a utopia in this country or all of this whole world. And Jesus says, we shouldn't judge others. And people ask, what would Jesus do? Do you think Jesus would do this? Really? Jesus would never go that extreme to say, I'm gonna refuse service for you, because there are people out there who are sinners who go to him asking for guidance, and he still gave them service. Why do these Christians believe that they are on the top of the food chain? You're no better than a regular human freaking being. I don't know. What do you guys think about Kansas doing this bill? Do you think they're right for doing it? Do you think it does violate constitutional rights? Tell me what you guys think. But keep it civil. Leave a comment down below. And like I said, the article is in the description. If this country keeps this up with this BS, I'm afraid we're going to have another Nazi Germany. Or a communist government. I don't know, but